Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today we're going to be trying to fix up this ACER little laptop, but it's also a tablet. 2-in-1, I believe they call it. So I bought it from eBay. It was on a bid, an auction style, and nobody else bid on it. I was the only one, so I got it for £20 plus £7 something postage. And it says here, ACER blah 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 blah, 32GB SSD, 10-inch laptop, etc. Selling as faulty, not powering on, in good condition. Bought a third-party charger, not included. Not sure it was the right one. Still didn't turn on. Selling as faulty, no returns. And I've had a little look at it, and it's a super thin little DC jack here, so I haven't got anything to fit that either, unfortunately. It has got a USB-C next to it, but I looked online and it didn't say anything about being able to charge it from there. I can also see it's got a tiny little dint just by the USB-C. So I think what we'll do is let's take it apart, because I'm going to trust that the seller did buy a third-party charger. I'm sure the third-party charger was probably working fine. You can get them on Amazon and eBay. And let's take it apart and see if we can do a little continuity test between here going into here. Maybe we can measure the battery, see what sort of voltage is in there. But yeah, it certainly doesn't turn on. So when I open it up here, I think I read a review and it said that it was optional. Sorry, this one here. It said it was optional that it could have a hard drive into the keyboard base here. So everything is in the tablet here, and this is just like a keyboard that you attach. But it's interesting that it has the option to put it in there, but I don't think this one does because it seems super thin. Anyway, I've held it down, it doesn't do anything. I've also held this down and down button here just to see if it resets, and it doesn't. So let's try to take it apart. It's called an Aspire switch. It seems to have different names. I think it's a V10 or 10V or something like that. And the model number is written down here somewhere. There you are, model number N15P1. Let's get it apart. Now I'm thinking it's going to be one of these things where you have to pry the back off this here. So I'm not too interested in this one at the moment, but this is easy to come apart because that's got screws. So now, this is where I will probably end up cracking the screen. But look, I'm moving that apart there, so I'm thinking if I go in there, I may get lucky. So let's see if I can pry. This is reminding me of that little Amazon Fire tablet. That didn't go well. Ah, here we go. Hold on now. Not so sure. That's going to pull the bezel out there, but I need the back to come off. Unless there are hidden screws under this top bit. This top bit does look different, doesn't it? Let's see if we can prise this off at all. Oh, here we go. No, it is going to prise out here. Right, well at least I've got a little start now. Here you can hear it unclipping. Ooh. I'm waiting for that screen to go. Do you know what? I think I might be lucky. Right, now that I've built up my confidence on that, let's give a shout out to the My Mate Vince Massive. So this month, that is Saturnine Cinema, Operational 117, kitdigital.com, Kip Hakes, Max Rokotansky, Having Fun Repairs, Ellensburg Amplifier Repair and Service, well, that's okay, Will Michaelis, Stephen Kilgore, Chris Seal, the My Mate Vince fan club, whee, and Brian Bomarito. So thank you guys, and thank you to all the other patrons as well, and everybody that gives the support, anybody that helps me out basically. that makes this channel what it is. Maybe I shouldn't worry about that. Maybe I should just lift it up from here and the bottom will come out. Oh, big ribbon cable. Big ribbon cable. Right, okay. Let's undo that from here. So how does that, I think that little white thing comes up, does it? Yes, the white thing comes up. Right, we are now free. We are now free. Looks spotless. Looks absolutely spotless in here. So where is the charging port? The charging port is here, so we can do a little bit of measuring, can't we? With our multimeter. Does it travel down that cable? Yes, it does. Right, let's zoom in and look there. And also we can check this battery. So this battery is 3.75 volts. So we should be able to check that on here. Should we do that first just to see if there's anything in the battery at all? Maybe this is a charging issue. And that's why it's dead, because it's not charging up. Well, I'm presuming it's going to be there and there, the red and the black. So let's pop this out. Yeah, we can measure there. Let's get the multimeter. Go to volts DC. So it says here, charging current, 4 amps, voltage 4.35. So I'm thinking if it's charged, we should be looking at about what, 4.2 or something? Well, it doesn't look like there's anything there whatsoever. That looks completely and utterly flat. Unless there's some weird sense pin that then tells you when the battery has voltage, but I doubt it. That would just be to say whether it's safe to charge or not. Right, okay, well, maybe if we were to put in a known working battery, which I haven't got, maybe that would be okay. Let's go to continuity and let's have a little look here at the charging port. So the outer one should be going to, let's have a look, these two here. Okay, so the inner one should be going to one of the other ones, or maybe both of them. So we know we're okay to there, and there's no short between them. There's no short there. So that's good to there, unfortunately. Let's zoom in and see if we can trace where it goes to from here. Right, so it looks like it goes to that inductor. I think that's an inductor. I then it goes down this side here. Right, I can't see where it goes to then. Okay, let's get the bench power supply and let's see if we can get voltage on here. It's going to be a bit awkward because I've got no way to clip. I've got nowhere to clip the wires onto, have I? Well, maybe I can clip the ground onto something like this, because that's going to be grounded to here, isn't it? Oh, yes, yeah, it is, yeah. Maybe I can clip the ground onto the USB port here, or a screw post, and then I can just probe it, and then I can measure with my other hand the whether voltage is getting into the battery. So first of all, let's connect this back up. Let's get the bench power supply on the go. I looked earlier, it says there's 12 volts on it. It's going to be near enough impossible to see, but there's a little sticker here and it says 12 volts, 1.5 amps. And to show you, this is the bench power supply here, you can see 12 volts, and when I touch the wires together, you can see there 1.5 amps, 1.494 amps. So what I'm doing now is I've got my multimeter connected to grounds here so I can measure what's going into the battery, and I've got my power supply here set to 12 volts 1.5 amps, and I've just been putting it onto the contact here, and then I've been measuring it on here. Now to start with, it started up really low and it was only draining something like 0.08 off an amp, and then after holding it here for a couple of minutes it jumped up to 1.3 amps, so it's now 12 volts at 1.3 amps, and you can see the charge going into the battery is now gone up to 4 volts. So if I take that off now, you can see that in the battery we've got 3.5 volts. So it's definitely, it's definitely taken a charge. So what I'm thinking right now is it'd be unlikely that the original owner and the guy I bought it from had faulty power supplies. So I'm wondering, could it be a problem with the on and off switch? The ribbon cable that I'd undone earlier, could it be that that's not working? Weird thing is, why is the battery completely drained? Which is a bit strange, because if the last person who sold it to me charged it up, then it would, they'd be charging the battery, wouldn't they? Unless, of course, he's held on to this for 6 months and the battery's drained since then. Who knows? But I'm just going to wait here for a little bit longer, get a little bit more charge into the battery. And then I think we need to look at the power button and see if that's working or not. Well, it seems to have stabilised around about the 4.147 volts going into the battery. Now, if I take off the power supply, then it's the battery's holding now at 3.74. So, I mean, that might be enough to turn it on. So I think what we should do is let's turn our attention to the on and off switch and see what's happening. See what's happening there. Okay, let's put this to one side. Let's have a look here. So we've got a power button up the top here, and it looks like there's 3 contacts, so we should be able to go onto here and check for continuity. So I'm just pressing it in. Okay, so between the middle one and that one, it's working. Let's just try the middle and that side. And it's working that side as well. Yeah, so it's the middle one there to the outer ones. Okay, so it's not that, but what we can do is we can see which pins it's going to come up on here, and then we might be able to see whether the whole ribbon cable and stuff is intact and the rest of the board here, just in case there's some sort of water damage. So let's go on the outer one to begin with. Let's see where it's coming up. Right, so I'm roughly on them, and listen, when I press the button, it's working. So 100% there's nothing wrong with that on and off switch there going to the ribbon cable. So I think what we should do now is put the ribbon cable back into the board and see whether or not it does anything. So I'm just going to plug this in while the battery's connected, because I should be okay. There we go. Right, now let's see if we're going to get anything. Remember, we've got a little bit of charge in the battery now, so let's hold it down. Yep, blue lights on. Blue lights on. Excellent. So now let's see if anything happens up on screen. Ooh, nothing's happening on screen, is it? But the blue light's definitely on. Now it's gone off. I wonder, is it still lacking power? Oh, it's back on again. Oh, it's coming. There you go, critical low battery. Right, okay. So I need to rig something up to get more charge into it. Right, I've got an idea to charge it up. So I've got one of these connectors here, like RJ45 to, I can't remember if this one was VGA or whatever. But anyway, you can just see here, they've got the female plugs on. So there's a tiny little hole. So I've just put it in the middle there, and I've got the positive of my power supply onto it, and I've got the ground there. And if you have a look here, it's not shorting between here and here. Yeah. So yeah, nobody's going to touch it. I'm just going to turn this on and let it do its thing for a good, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour or so, and then yeah, we'll see what happens. You know what I'm thinking now? I wonder whether it could be an issue with the keyboard side of it. Maybe it's having some issue here when it's on, it's not charging or something like that. Could be possible, or it could be draining. It could be draining it. It could be some sort of short or something. So yeah, I'll get back to this later when the battery's got more charge in it. Just noticed over here as well that the light's gone to amber. So yeah, it's definitely recognising the charge. Okay, so I've had it charged up for about 2 or 3 hours, turned it on, it all turned on fine. But look, touchscreen's not working. You have a look down here, it shows the Wi-Fi and the speakers are not working. And when I go into Device Manager, they don't exist. And when I go to scan for changes, then they're still not there. So maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's a hardware thing in here. The other worrying thing is that the cursor's gone again now, you see. The cursor's coming and going. So yeah, now without that it's seized up because the touchscreen's not working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to reset this and see if that clears, because this could be a driver related issue. So I'm going to try to just do a complete reset back to how it was, factory settings. And then if that doesn't work, then we'll have to look to see maybe if it is an actual hardware issue. Look, check it out, it's a CEX device. Right, so what we're going to do is, let's hold down Shift and reboot this thing to factory settings. So I'm going to go to Power, Restart, and it should come up with the Troubleshoot. There we go. Troubleshoot. But this is going to take quite a long time. See, by doing this, what I'm hoping is it will reinstate the drivers. See, it's resetting now. This has only been about 5 minutes, so fingers crossed it might go through nice and quick, which would be great. So what I'm thinking now is CEX is a place that buy and sell electronics. So maybe somebody bought it and then after they give a 2-year guarantee, which is amazing. So maybe somebody tried to update in those 2 years Windows 10. And you know what it's like with Windows 10, sometimes you update it and you will lose something. Like on my dad's little laptop, he lost his Ethernet connection, so he has to use Wi-Fi now. So maybe the drivers got messed around with for the Wi-Fi and the audio, and understandably they would take it back to CEX and say something you sold me doesn't work anymore. They're not going to argue too much, and they probably just tried to fix it, couldn't, got rid of it, and then it's ended up going through other people's hands. And maybe in the meantime the battery went completely flat. The person that sold it to me bought a third-party charger. He might have only plugged it in for a few seconds and seen that there was no activity with the lights, because when I first of all plugged in the bench power supply, it didn't do anything charge-wise for a while. So maybe it didn't have enough charge in it to get the light to come on. That's what I'm thinking. But now we've got past that battery issue. I don't think this is a battery issue at all. I think the issue here is to do with the fact that the Wi-Fi and the audio is not working. So let's see if rebooting it fixes that. So yeah, quite interesting. There you go, installing Windows. Brilliant. Okay, as I say, might not be anything it might still be faulty. It might be a hardware issue, but if it's a software issue, maybe this will fix it. Fingers crossed. Well, unfortunately, that was a waste of time. If you have a look here, you can see the audio still not working, Wi-Fi is not working, touchscreen still not working, and also this is not working here now either. So I'd have to turn it on to get this to turn it off and on again to get this to work. But it just seems a bit weird, that touchscreen, audio, and Wi-Fi. I'm still wondering if it's some sort of software issue. So what I do next is check online to see if I can get the drivers for this laptop. Right, just to show you what's going on here, I've plugged in a little USB hub, and out of that I've got a USB thumb drive and also a mouse plugged into it as well. I've downloaded all the drivers onto here because I need to get them onto here, and then what I'm doing is I'm in Device Manager, and one by one I'm clicking on these and I'm going to update driver, and then it's coming through, and then it actually tells me what it is after it's been done because I've pointed it towards looking at this thumb drive here. So I'm going to do that on all of them, and let's see if the touchscreen starts working and also the audio and the Wi-Fi, because they're still like that and the touchscreen is still not working. So just to give an example of what I'm doing, let's pick this one here, and then I'm going to click on it, then right click, update driver software, and then I'm going to go to browse my computer. This is pointing at the little thumb drive, and I'm just going to go to next, and let's see if it does it on this one. There you go, so that's Intel Serial I/O SPI controller. Just got about another 14 to do. Check this out, I'm still working my way through, but now look down here. It's come up with the Wi-Fi thing, not the audio, and also look at the touchscreen. If I tap here, boom, it comes up. So I think I might be successful by the time I go through all this. Okay, good news. It is all working, which is absolutely amazing. I didn't think I'd be able to get this to work, but I have. Now, you've seen what I was doing earlier to get the drivers updated, but even then, we still didn't have sound. So what I had to do is we had 3 unknown drivers and I couldn't update it. So I had to just name those 3 drivers, point them towards being the audio and video one. I can't remember what it was now. And then on each of them, I had to go and try to download the driver that is the proper one for this one here. And on the very first go of the 3 of them, I got lucky. And when I did it, it was in fact the proper driver. And then it came up as, I think it was called SST. Hold on, speakers Intel SST audio device WDM. Funny enough, that is exactly the same audio that's in the Fusion 5 laptop that I did on the on one of the last videos. So I got lucky with that. But then every time I tried to use the internet, it kept coming up with security things, and it would say I'm not connected to the internet. But yet I could go onto the BBC News and it would be modern stories. That took me ages to work out, but I remembered that laptop that I did ages ago. Remember the ThinkPad? That kept coming up with security issues, and I was told that the time and date was wrong compared to what the actual website time and date is, so it comes out of an error. And I remember by changing the time on the last one, it was correct. It corrected the problem. So on this one, all I had to do was, oh, why has it gone off there? Yeah. All I had to do was go into the date and time, and I had to change it manually. And as soon as I changed it manually, the internet started to work, and then it allowed me to update Windows as well. And right now, everything is working fine. So for example, touchscreen, you can see that is now working there. Yep. So let's go into Microsoft Edge. That's the new one here. And just to show you a YouTube video, one of my ones, of course. It's another tea break repair. So yep. And I can do the volume here. Fix something over the next 10 minutes. So I bought this off eBay and it was sold as spares. So that's all working fine. And what else have I got? Yeah, I've put in the little SSD card from the Nintendo Switch, the fake 256 gigabytes one. So it's, I don't know how much is actually on it, but I've got it there. So that will give me extra storage. Now, the thing is, with this, I'm really pleased. I'll tell you why. It works. It does exactly what you want it to do. And of course it works as a tablet as well. And using the Windows thing, you can put it into tablet mode if, there you go, do you want to switch to tablet mode? So obviously that's a personal preference, but you can see now that it will work, yeah? Right, so yeah, with the Fusion 5 laptop, I was really disappointed because it wouldn't do basic things that you would want it to do. But with this one here, it's working absolutely fine. So the internet works on it, the Wi-Fi works even when you're from a little bit of a distance away. I'm really happy with it. So it's not the quickest of laptops, of course it's not, and it's not powerful at all, but yet for a quick bit of internet browsing and searching on eBay and stuff like that, it's absolutely fine, and also YouTube videos. So I'm really pleased with it. Now, was it a fix? Well, yes and no. No, it's not a fix in respect of I didn't have to move any wires or anything, but yet it is a fix, meaning that this has already gone through other people's hands and they haven't fixed it, and now it's working. So not every fix has to be soldering off a wire. This is still a fix. For me, it's not an enjoyable fix, but it's still nice to get the product working at the end of it. So, but then again, it's because I'm really out of my comfort zone on that sort of stuff. Maybe if I got better at it, I'll be quite happy doing it. But there you go. It is now working, which is the main thing. So if you enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you on a Trying to Fix video very soon. Take care, everyone.